40 Days of Faith. Corrie and Betsie ten Boom were sisters, and both of them were sent to concentration camps during World War II for hiding Jews. Corrie survived and went on to spend her life serving Christ and others. But Betsie would not make it out of the harsh conditions alive. She was older than Corrie and already frail before the war. Toward the end of 1944, Betsie became worse in the concentration camp, and there was nothing that Corrie could do. Betsie would lay there in sort of a dreamlike state. One day, while in one of those dreamlike states, she told Corrie this. She said, "We will be free before the new year. I can see us walking all around the streets of Harlem." This was their hometown. She said, "By 1945, we will be free." Corrie hugged her and just cried and cried. But Betsie didn't stop there. She said, "Corrie, think of all the people who will need our help when the war ends. We will find a place for them to come to. It will be a beautiful place. There will be huge gardens, and the floors will be made of inlaid wood." She seemed as if she were there looking in the front door. She said, "Look, there are marble statues set into little nooks all along the walls. And the staircase is so wide, and the windows are tall, right to the roof." Corrie thought maybe Betsie was thinking of heaven when she talked about this beautiful place. Then in December, Betsie collapsed. She was taken to the camp hospital, but never seen by a doctor. Corrie snuck in to see Betsie in the hospital, and as Betsie lay there, she said these words, "We must tell them, Corrie. We must tell them there is no pit so deep that God's love cannot reach it." The next day, Betsie died. Corrie's beloved sister and best friend was gone. 3 days later, the name Cornelia ten Boom was called during morning roll call. What? They never used Corrie's real name. They only called her number 66730. Corrie was led to the concentration camp office, and she was set to be released that day by clerical error. We know that it was the hand of God. On December 28th, Corrie was released from the cruel world that she had been living in behind barbed wire. Betsie was right. It was 3 days until New Year's, and both Betsie and Corrie were free. Corrie spoke to many people after the war about her experience in the concentration camp. At one meeting, a nicely dressed woman came up and introduced herself. The lady said, "Hello, my name is Mrs. Berns de Haan, and I live in Bloemendaal." The woman's mother and Corrie's aunt were friends who used to do charity work together. The lady told Corrie of the strange urge to talk to her. Obviously, it was the Holy Spirit leading her. Mrs. de Haan said that she had 5 sons and that her husband was dead. One of her sons had been taken to Germany for rescuing Jews. She said, "When I was listening to you, Corrie, God told me 2 things. Number 1, my son Jan would be home soon. Number 2, after he is home, I'm to hand over my home to you for your work as a way of saying thank you." Corrie was in complete shock because most of the people who rescued Jews never came home, especially men. She didn't know if the woman was trying to bargain with God. So she told the woman of Betsie's description of a home to help others after the war. Corrie said Betsie was very specific. She described the inlaid wood floor, and there were marble statues set in little nooks all along the walls, a very wide staircase and tall windows all the way to the ceiling. And then Corrie stopped. She looked at the woman, and the woman was smiling ear to ear. "Well, it is settled then," the lady said. "I can tell that you have already been there. I cannot wait for Jan to be home soon." Corrie was astounded and even more surprised when Jan came home just a few days later, and the house was exactly as Betsie had described it. Mrs. de Haan gave over the 56-room mansion, and that very month it was filled with hurting people. Some of those were Jews who had come out of hiding. Others were orphans. Some people had come out of concentration camps, and others were just homeless because their homes had been bombed. Kindness and beauty were what the survivors needed, and especially they needed the true love of Christ.